Hi, guys. Welcome back to Bar Exam. It's your girl, Allie Rayner, and I'm here with my amazing Bar Exam crew. Say hello, Mr. Eric G. and Mr. Marcus TV. Hello,
What up,
fellas.
y'all?
Yo,
What's up? What's up? Okay, so I hope everybody had a great week. This week, coming before the bar, we are talking about bars that everybody knows. So here at Bar Exam, we each picked some of these like famous songs, and we picked the most talked about lyrics from each song. So we're going to present our lines and then see if the rest of the Bar Exam crew agrees that these are the most talked about lines, or maybe these are the bars that everybody just seems to know. So let us know how you guys also feel in the comments below about our selections. We definitely want to hear what you guys think about these. So let's kick it off, fellas. Do either one of you guys want to start first, or would you like me to do the honors?
Do the honors, Allie.
All right.
always.
All right, cool. All right. So for my first pick, I'll start it off and see if the guys can actually finish this line. It's kind of similar to when we play Finish This Rhyme. So I'm going to start it off and see if the guys can finish it. Go, 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 shorty. It's your birthday. We gon' party like
Party like
it's your
it's your
birthday.
birthday. Gonna drink Bacardi like it's your birthday. We don't
And you
give
know we don't give up because that's your birthday.
Okay,
I
I
love
feel like it
it.
was. I feel like it was your birthday right now, Eric. Like I really do.
Yeah, yeah, he got hype as hell. That's exactly how you're supposed to do it, though, right? So I love this song, like you guys know, obviously because of the birthday line. I think that it gives the song so much longevity. The line can work for anybody. Everybody has a birthday. So at some point, I feel like you've heard this song at somebody's birthday party, your own birthday party, on a birthday post. You've heard it, you've seen it. I already know. So that's why I think that it does a really good job. And I also think that it's fun that this line sounds like it could be the hook, but it ends up not being the hook at all. It just gets your attention, it gets you hyped, and it starts off his entire verse. And then yeah, I just think that it's really dope because this song actually got 1.2 billion streams on Spotify alone. So I think it also just reinforces, like I was saying, it has longevity and basically it's getting played somewhere, anywhere right now. Like I don't doubt that somebody out there is having a birthday party or singing this at karaoke and it's doing what it needs to do. How do you guys feel about this song?
This is one of those ones. This is like I like what you said a lot about how the hook can be the beginning part of the song can be misinterpreted for the hook.
Mm-hmm.
That beginning sequence of that song sets the tone for the rest of that record. Immediately when you hear those lines, it's instantly you're in that mode, you're in that zone of how that song makes you feel. Uh, just as you talk about the Spotify streams, I want to know how many radio spins in general that song has, because I mean that's just one of those ones that is never ever going to get old. It's timeless. You can pretty much play it anywhere, and if you're around the older crowd, you can even play the clean version, and that's good. So this is just one of those songs where like it was just a home run out of the ballpark like immediately. So yeah, definitely that first part very memorable because again, it completely sets the tone for the rest of the song.
Yeah, and I think it set the tone for his career too, and that entire album, because I think that was probably the first song that he dropped, and then all of a sudden he just went crazy. And I think that's why that album ended up being one of like the highest sold albums ever. So shout out to 50 Cent. Marcus, what were you about to say?
Like it's iconic 50 Cent, and hearing 50 Cent talk now about his music, then I don't. I never looked at 50 as a musical genius. Like I never. He was a dope rapper. He was. I never looked at him as, you know, as like uh yeah, it's just like an architect of a song. And hearing 50 Cent talk about, oh yeah, I wanted the song that would last, and hearing him like about his earlier music, his genius mind in the studio is slept upon.
Yeah.
Like so many people. Like, I mean, hell, he gave a career to the game. Like, I mean, you can say like the game was dope, but when 50 had him and he when he wrote certain lyrics for him, he was like, oh yeah, I helped them with this, or I worked this for them, and and it wasn't no secret. Like his artistic ability was very much slept on because of his business now. Now he's not even making music. So just think if 50 was still making music or made continuous music throughout his career, what that would look like. I never thought that 50 would be an iconic person. I mean, he was iconic, but not like for lyricism and songs. It was everything about him, the other things. But this right here shows early in his career, he was like, no, I needed a song. It's somebody's birthday. Yeah, definitely. I need to make a song that's a birthday anthem.
Yeah. And I think that also speaks to 50 Cent's taste, because he picked this song to be the one that he dropped first. It was a huge hit. He had great taste with picking the members of G Unit. I feel like a lot of people, some people, like you said Game is in there. Those are some of people's favorite rappers. Lloyd Banks is in there. Who else am I forgetting from G Unit? Like he has really good taste, even from the shows now. Like, so we can't people can't sit there and act as though, like you said, that he's not in some way, shape, or form some type of genius, like whether it be musically or he just knows how to pick them, knows how to write a good story. Like he just has that overall thing. Like you said, yeah, I don't think it's necessarily always going to be lyrically, but I will say like he paints a picture and he writes a really good story a lot of times in his songs, and they can be club bangers at the same time. It's hard to do. So yeah, it explains as to why so many damn streams. So that's why I picked that song. Fellas, who is next?
I'll go next.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
All right. Let's see here. Let's see if you guys can finish this one off. All right. His palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy. There's vomit on the sweater already. Mom's spaghetti. He's nervous. But on the surface, he looks calm and ready to drop bombs. Now he keeps on forgetting.
Snap back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. Is that right?
We skipped a few. We skipped a few bars there.
I always do that. My bad.
But that doesn't matter because that's all that was performed when he brought out Terrence Crawford. So
okay, I was gonna bring this up, and I'm glad you brought it up.
So that's all that we needed to hear was the pounds, like that's all we needed to hear, and then you go out and you can become the heavyweight champion. I mean the middleweight champion. So no, that's all you need to hear. You just need a little I said a little Wayne, an Eminem introduction, and you can be good to walk out.
Who did he fight that night? Who was it? I forget the other guy's name.
Errol Spence.
Errol Spence. Okay. So Errol Spence apparently came out with somebody else, and then
the plug.
Yeah, and then the other dude, what was his name again?
Errol Spence?
No, the first guy.
Terrence Crawford.
Yeah, Terrence Crawford. He came out with Eminem. You knew automatically right then that things were going to be swayed, because this is one of those songs that was made for this moment in specifics. And just even going back to when this song first came out, it was, again, one of those unescapable Eminem tracks that kind of just dominated and took over for forever. But the thing that made this song so great and those lyrics hit so hard is, number one, I think people really received the movie really well, the 8 Mile movie, along with the soundtrack when this came out. So this was like this kind of just hit on all fronts for Eminem. And then not only that, but like kind of just what we were talking about, there's like a sports element to it, or like a determination factor to it. Like you can really like feel a sense of like perseverance in the song as he's rapping it. And that's what made it so iconic all these years later. Like not just from that opening sequence, but throughout the whole entire song. So yeah, that was just one of those ones. And I'm glad you brought up Terrence, because once that happened and once he came out to that song, it was like, oh yeah, Errol's out of here.
Yeah, I was shook, and a lot of people actually said that like it was really telling because Eminem is the type of person who's going to go for the underdog, and he's going to go for somebody who's the underdog, but who has a lot of talent and who's kind of slept on. And I feel as though it's because he kind of identifies with that person. So yeah, I was actually really shocked to find out that this is that Eminem was the person that Terrence Crawford chose. But then when he put the hurt on Errol Spence, I was like, no, that makes total sense. Like he knew that this was the moment, and the fact that Eminem was down to do it, I thought was even better because I haven't seen him do like pop out like that before. So I thought that was dope. It was overall like so perfect. I felt like it couldn't have aligned better. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, like even like hearing like the hook over like in my head, the lose yourself in the moment you won't, and you better never let it go. Like that fits along with the fight so perfectly.
Yeah,
I love that aspect of it.
They said it took many years to get this fight together anyway. So it's crazy how much the song actually, it really does mirror what's going on in real life.
Right. That you better never let it go. You only get one shot. Do not miss your chance to blow. Like all of that. Just it was the fact that he picked M was a marriage in heaven on that night. So yeah. Shout outs to M. Perfect song. One of his, I think it's a top 5 song from him easily.
It's more than top 5. It's probably, I'm gonna say it's the cult for the culture in hip hop. It's everybody loves an underdog story, and you know this is the equivalent of fucking Rudy for us. Like 8 Mile and Rudy are the same thing. So when you see people like Rudy, and all that, like this Eminem and 8 Mile, that's the hook, man. It's the iconicness of what can top that. Like you just said, what this moment was set up years. This song is even older. It was almost as if it was almost like it was a real life version of Creed.
Yeah, you know, it really was.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they do like a documentary of that night for like of leading up to it, and then just those moments for sure. Yeah,
100%.
But Marcus, tell us your pick.
So I got 3, but the first one is everyone knows this from the first line because when you hear the snare go, I'm a millionaire, I'm a young money millionaire, tough hair, tougher than Nigerian hair. My criteria compared to your career just isn't fair. I'm venereal disease like a minute. Like, see, there you So and Lil Wayne, a Millie, I believe, like, first of all, everyone knows this hook. I believe this was your first introduction to learning someone's bars. I really believe, like, everyone knew all three verses in these bars. Like, you didn't just know the hook, you knew these bars, and then you tried to get your breath right so you could do it all and breathe at the right times, because you know like you was really like, what is breath control? Like, you didn't know that when you were rapping shit. It was definitely there. So Young Wayne, A Millie by Lil Wayne is my pick because it was the first verse that I ain't gonna say that I remember, that I go back to, that I have the earliest memory of.
That was one of those songs where, like, you had like competitions with your friends to see who knew the most lyrics out of this. Like, it was one of that was one of those songs to see, like, all right, who can quote this whole song front to back. That was one of those.
For real. And it was hard as hell. And like you said, Marcus, you had to have that breath control. This was not one of them. You're going to have to practice a few times in the mirror for this one and look up the lyrics.
And there was different versions of A Millie too. So, like, you had to
know. My favorite
back then it was like, which version are you going with?
And then because like beat-wise, like the beat was dope, but then at the same time, the grinding beat was out. So you're like, okay, well, which one beat, they're like 1 and 2. No one knows a verse from grinding. No one.
Yeah, that's
no
true.
no one is reciting the girls from grinding.
I know
the beat.
that first beginning part though, from ghetto to ghetto to backyard to yard.
That's
I said
it.
whip one whip. It's hard for hard. I'm your neighborhood pusher. Call me subwoofer, cause I pump bass like that. Jack on and off the track. Okay, never mind. I knew a little bit more than
that.
Okay. but you know what? You where you died at in the song is where everybody dies at.
Yeah.
And then it's like it. This is such a hard. This is gonna be a snippet. I don't even want to say it. I do. It's the lift every voice and sing version of that era. Because everybody just knows the first part. Nope.
That's funny.
Nobody knows the rest.
True, but it's so true.
Nobody knows. Nobody knows the rest.
Man, I am. Yeah.
Everybody lift every voice, and then you.
I'm just gonna hump this one out. Everybody else's voice lifted up, because honey, now I don't know what the fuck the words are. You right?
Yeah.
You gotta like fake hum under your breath.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you sit there astute too. You sit there like.
Nowadays, you can't even like fake mouth the words because there's way too many fucking cameras. You
don't even know it.
Yeah,
it's not even the fact of faking it. What are you faking? You don't even know it. I feel like it's them. When they had those interpreters, and you don't know what the hell they be saying when they be having like them news.
Yes.
Yeah, they be just doing shit. You wouldn't know unless you deaf. I don't know what this person's not saying to the deaf community. I have no idea. But you have no clue. But they do the same thing. Yeah,
that's so funny.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, no, I love that pick. Thank you, Marcus. That was a really good pick. That was iconic. All right, so everybody did their first pick, right? So I can do my second now?
Yeah.
Right?
Go for it.
All right, cool. So for my second pick, I decided to go with a song, or actually a lyric that is just really trendy right now. It's made its rounds all over social media, and that is Lotto's Put It on the Floor, the original version and the remix. Everybody knows this one. Let's see if the fellas know what I'm talking about. Rip Me Out the Plastic.
I've been acting
Yes! It's acting like they running shit they really ran through. So anywho, so I picked this one because I really just love that Lotto likes to use attention grabbers at the beginning of her songs. And I feel as though a lot of times it does what it needs to do. I think that she really thinks about what's gonna jump out and get people hooked into a song. And this one is fun because it was a unique way of using something that we all have said before, or we've heard other people say it in terms of, oh, bitch, you acting brand new. He think he brand new. We've all heard it before. So I love that she decided to put a new twist to it and put it in the song. And it just makes it fun. And like I said, it became a huge thing online. People were doing their own challenge. They was putting bags on their head, which was a bit much. I felt as though you could have just gotten some damn saran wrap and ripped out of that rather than risk your life to do a challenge. But I thought it was still fun. People like to be a little bit eccentric and all that. And I think that I think that Lotto is just smart. She knows, what is fun and what is going to get people talking. And this is one of those lines. How did you guys feel about this line? Do you feel as though it's a decent pick for like the line that everybody knows?
Oh,
for this song in particular, yes. I would say for this song in particular, for sure, because it's kind of like what you just said. It's that attention grabber right at the beginning that pulls you into the song, and the fact that everyone's already meme cultured it kind of out of here.
Yeah,
it's definitely got to be the most memorable lyric on the song to me, at least.
Yeah.
So hold on. What state what you said again? It's the most what?
Memorable lyric on the song.
Memorable.
Yeah,
So
or like a song that everybody knows.
Yeah, one that everyone knows.
Like a song that came out recently.
So I do agree. I don't disagree, but
Okay.
I just feel like in terms of reach, equally, you got to put Sexy Red Pound Town on that end too. And it's not about quality of lyric. It's not about the quality. It's about the reach. Because first of all, even though it was a grandma that almost died during the TikTok challenge when they put that bag over her head trying to do the happy birthday,
God.
you know, that like she almost died. Like literally, the lady almost passed away.
That's terrible.
Sexy Red embarrassed Bobby Jones.
What are you talking about?
That form, like Sexy Red is, and it's crazy how far that ratchet shit goes. Yeah. You didn't, because Sexy Red brought out ratchetness in people who I didn't necessarily think were ratchet. Whereas I can't say that about Latto.
Okay.
You know.
I could see your argument.
Yeah, like I'm not talking about quality of artist. See, that's not, because I would gladly take Latto over Sexy Red bars every day. I'm just talking about reach. Literally, I think the reach is
okay. I think it's interesting that you use that as a defense, because I just looked it up. So I already knew that, at least off of Spotify, I think I have to look at, we can also add other numbers, but we'll just to make the argument simple for this. For Latto's Put It on the Flow, the remix and the original, it's doing about 25 million, okay, on Spotify. Okay. For Sexy Red's Pound Town, the one with Nicki is doing 21 million. The one with just Sexy Red is doing 15 million. So I feel as though that's my defense to your reach argument, that, okay, it might seem like Sexy Red's song is doing better, but is it really? Is Latto's getting more streams? And I think she is.
My only counter to that is I think Latto's song came out first.
Okay, so you feel like they haven't done enough time on the charts for being, released?
Yeah. And also we've had this discussion on this show about Glorilla.
Okay.
And the only reason I bring her up, and not like in the fan club way, is we've talked about who Nicki needed help. Like, who could help Nicki? Not necessarily Nicki helping them, but Nicki attaching herself to a young up and coming rap. And we've had that conversation before. It was not 6 times.
So it looks like the producers have done another girl.
The girl, yeah. But we've had that about Nicki. So, did Nicki help Sexy Red? I'm not going to sit there and say
I think so.
For sure.
Between 15 million and 21 million, I think that, it's definitely going to help. And I think that it's going to make Sexy Red seem a little bit more legitimate. Like you said, she does kind of get the reputation of not really being taken serious because of the unserious nature of her lyrics. I don't know how else to say it. How ratchet she likes to get, and how you can tell there's not like a whole lot of mastery there, a lot of thought. It seems like it really is just coming off the top of the dome. She just makes songs for her and her friends, people who she feels like is gonna get into her music are more than likely gonna want simple, dumbed down kind of songs. And so I feel as like with Nicki jumping on her song, it kind of made people take her a little bit more serious. Like when you have people like Take Heed and then Nicki back you up, it's like, all right, maybe we should listen to her shit. Maybe we should take her a little more serious. Maybe we should listen to and see if she has another hit on her hands for the next project. So I really do think Nicki helped Sexy this time around. And I don't think it always happens, but just in this situation.
So you remember when Kevin Gates had the interview rounds and we was like, do you like Kevin Gates' music more or do you like Kevin Gates the interview? Because he always had all these sound clips. Kevin Gates was wild at just saying sound clips that you had just never heard. Most famous one is the I Eat Booty. Everyone was like, what? What? Sexy Red is the same way with the sound clips. Now her music, it's ratchet as shit, but her sound clips in the interviews is wilder than the lyrics.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
She
It
said,
has a wow factor for sure.
she said, I'm the raw dog queen.
Yeah, that was wild.
But I think that she's doing the same shit that Suki was doing, that like shock and awe factor, you know. And I think that
Is it
it's
shocking
also
all if it's true?
character. I mean, I think that we've seen that at least with Suki, it kind of seemed like it was a character, like because then when you know that whole OK Cyrus shit popped off, it kind
Yeah.
of started.
Yeah,
becoming
then
a
we
lot
found out
more
that
real.
wasn't a character.
Yeah.
She all of a sudden wasn't
I'm-
so aggressive. She wasn't super sexual. She was a lot more submissive and like, what the fuck is going on? But I think that was sexy. I'm still trying to figure out whether or not it's a character.
No
or
character. That's
she
a
really-
girl. That's a girl. That's from. I'm telling you, in this hometown of St. Louis, from the north side, the girl that is who she. That is her authentic St. Louis. That is not a character.
Yeah,
That is not. That is.
definitely gives me that vibe from like just she always does the same pose. Like she reminds me of the chick from like the early 2000s. I don't know. I had a friend like that who was like who was it, a pigeon toed, always at the duck lips, always had crazy color hair. And you're just like, that's my fun ass friend.
Yeah.
That's my friend. She really is your fun ass, ratchet ass friend.
So
Yeah. But I'm glad that you mentioned her. I think that she's gonna give people a run for their money. I think she's gonna continue to shock people in how well she does. And I think that it's gonna be even more interesting because she's gonna be up against people like Lotto who are crafting their lyrics a little bit more. They're a little bit more serious about it. And you can tell Sexy is also in it for the fun. Like she actually is, you know, a city girl at heart or whatever. She probably is just having a good time. So it'll work. Either one works apparently.
this is gonna be the most craziest statement I say on this show ever. Sexy Red will be getting a Grammy before Nicki Minaj.
I hope you're wrong. I hope I didn't scream too loud, but also I hope you're wrong.
Why can I see that? Why can I see that actually happening?
See?
I would be upset. And I think that Nicki would probably like hurt people, like put hands on folks, feet and hands.
I
I could 100% see.
I hope you're wrong.
Me
I hope you're wrong.
pulling a troll.
The Lord didn't hear that.
See?
I hope the Lord didn't hear that. Anyway, so anyhow, I think that we can all agree that those are two very much iconic, well-known lines from songs that have dropped recently. Now, moving along, let's talk about somebody else who has very iconic lines. I think actually, Eric, you were going to talk about him before I do my whole rollout. So go ahead.
Yeah, for sure. So the person in question that we're talking about at the moment is Drake. And yeah, Drake has very, very memorable, quotable lines that you can probably find on the girl that you like's Instagram, whatever the case may be, probably find it there. One of the most notable lines on one of his very first big singles is one that I think was one that everyone just kind of ran with, and this is kind of what like started that caption type era. So I'll start off the song and you guys can let me know what song this is from here. Know you got a roommate, call me when there's no one there, put the key under the mat and you know I'll be over there. Yeah, I'll be over there. Shawty, I'll be over there. I'll be hitting all the spots that you ain't even know is there. And you can wear it like the last slice. We can have my heart. You can have my heart, and we can share it like the last slice. I messed that first part up a little bit, but yeah. What song is that, y'all?
I've never heard that song.
Oh, get the hell out of here! We knew that was Cap.
I tried to say it with a straight face, like I was trying to like look at a person. You should have seen Eric get close.
Eric said, "Stop playing with me, nigga."
I was like,
come on,
I'm
man.
gonna be like,
what are we doing?
Right.
But yeah, that beginning part of that song for me, I feel like was that memorable quotable line that pretty much everyone knew right off the bat, because just number one, the way that he delivers it, the way that he has that random Trey Songz ad lib in the background just out of nowhere. Like, who knows where that came from, but cool. Love the fact that like he had that like last slice line in there at the end, because like that was just something that just like really like, because he starts off with like the sappy stuff, like the "no, you got a roommate, call me when there's no one there," and then he gets into his rapper bag like right after that. So I picked Best I Ever Had. It was Drake's probably first like smash that everyone was like, oh, okay, like we got something with this guy. So yeah, that was why I picked Best I Ever Had. Allie, what did you want to piggyback off of that with more Drake lyrics, if you had any?
Okay, well, first I will comment that Drake was genius with this one, because he's mentioned it before that he kind of was going for like, what is it that's missing right now? Or at the time he was thinking, what's missing right now in the industry when it comes to rappers? And I think that he has said, like, he talked to his dad, he talked to Wayne, and they were saying like, dude, there's nobody talking to the women. And so Drake's dad was telling him nobody's rapping and singing. And Wayne was saying, like, you got to be picking songs that are going to kind of like appeal to your female fans. And so that's why this song ended up being one of the first ones that he ever dropped. And it was genius. I became an instant fan of Drake because of this. And I felt as though like my brother kind of was like, he kind of was, because I'm talking about my older brother. I felt as though he was conflicted because he didn't want to like him because I liked him. But then when he actually listened to like the lyrics and the bars, it was hard not to, because he's creative. Because Drake is smart, he's creative, and he was fun with it. So like, I think that it was an interesting time for Drake, and it just kind of showed like what happened to the rest of his career. Like he kind of could do no wrong, especially when it came to songs that catered to the female fans. So I think it's genius. I love this song. I also think that this song is really interesting because it gets quoted so much. And we already said like Drake is probably one of the most quoted rappers out there. And I think this song, with it being one of his first songs ever, and it just happens to be like his biggest quoted song ever, it's like a match made in heaven kind of a thing. And just shows why he's iconic. I also have a line from this song, Best I Ever Had. That's one of the songs that I feel like are some of the most quoted lines. I have 4 of them in total. Best I Ever Had is just one of the songs on there. So I wanted to present the songs to the guys on Bar Exam and see which one you guys think is the best one overall. Okay, so for the first list, it's going to be the most quoted / caption lines from Drake. So first one is sweatpants, hair tied, chilling with no makeup on. That's when you're the prettiest. I hope that you don't take it wrong. That one is again from Best I Ever Had. Shout out to Eric because he also chose that song. Next one is going to be last name ever, first name greatest, like a sprained ankle, boy, I ain't nothing to play with. That's from Forever. Next one is going to be I live for the nights that I can't remember with the people that I won't forget. Show me a good time. And the very last one is she said, do you love me? I tell her only partly. I only love my bed and my mama. I'm sorry. And that's from God's Plan. So which one of those 4 lines do you guys think is like the best one, the most iconic one, you know, the one that's used the most?
I love my bed and my mama, and I'm sorry. Like,
yeah,
everybody love their mama, and then they're like, nigga, I love, but the only thing that I could even equate to loving more than my mama is loving my bed. Easy. Like, that's easy. Easy.
I love it. Eric, what do you think?
I'm inclined to agree. I'm inclined to agree. I do think he had really funny lines in Forever, and like just and we've kind of touched on this before, but like that whole flow scheme, the I ball chemo, like that whole thing, like that was a great scheme. But In terms of out of what you just said, yeah, it's got to be God's Plan. And the crazy thing about that is that God's Plan is the newest out of all those songs that you picked. But that is the one that that's the one that stuck, and that's the one that I think everyone can relate to the most, and the one that everyone kind of just sings the most.
So let's also say, just for real quick nostalgia purposes, the videos are dead, right? You know, having a visual is needed, but actually, like, oh, he had Hype Williams direct the video. That era, that's dead. Like, that's been dead for so long. Like, no one really pays attention to your video. God's Plan video, you watched and shared that video like it was like it was back in the day. That video was amazing because he actually really did go to the college campus, change people's lives, hand those, you know, that, and then the song fit with the whole vision. That song brought videos. We was like, oh my God, this is a dope ass video.
Yeah, I totally agree about that video. I honestly thought it was so touching. It was so smart. Like, I think that people are so genius when they figure out how to tap into, like, okay, I'm going to give back, but I'm going to figure out how to, like, make it content and not make it, like, cringy.
Easy.
I feel like he was able to do that, and that is a real art. He made it not cringy as fuck. And so, yeah, I thought that was a really, like, smart way to do it. But also, I want to point out that I think a lot of people really love this line. And I also agree. I think this is probably one of his best ones out of the list that I gave you guys. But I think it's really probably the best one because it also has, like, this hidden message in it, supposedly. A lot of people are saying that the way it's supposed to actually go off or sound like is supposed to be, she say, do you love me? I told her only partly. I only love my bed, as in, like, I'm guessing that's supposed to be his child's middle name. That's what they're saying. His middle name is either Ahmed or my bed, something similar to that. I gotta look it up. But apparently it's supposed to be his child's middle name. And that's how he kind of, like, snuck it in when we all didn't know that he even had a kid. So do you guys think that rumor is true, that maybe the sites that have it saying my bed is actually wrong?
I think it's a reach.
Really?
Really?
I think it's a reach. Do I think Drake is smart enough to put that lyric in that song and possibly make it mean two different things in that? 100%. But I don't think that that's what happened there. Just me personally. Just after listening to the song so many times, and even after, like, going over that lyric again just a few times, even before just the show, and just looking at it and being like, okay, like, just going through it, reach.
I don't know, because it does say, I looked it up, they say that Adonis's middle name is Mabed, Mahbed.
So I'll say this. I would be inclined to agree with Eric 100%, typically. But this is not the first time Drake has had a double meaning of something or a situation go on that he's foreshadowed and spoke on, and it's came out in the future, i.e. the XX Extension line, you know, and put the money on his head. So this is not his first rodeo in that space of just coincidental bars that potentially can be true. If it was just the isolated incidents, I would say yes, absolutely. You know what? It's a reach. But considering Drake's been here before, I'm leaning that he did it intentionally.
You know, I'm actually surprised that you used that one as the example, because I forgot all about that XX reference. And then you're right, he did.
And he almost got indicted over that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think they were reaching with that too, though.
So you just said, two reaches don't seem suspicious to you?
But wait, there's another one.
Two reaches don't seem suspicious?
That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I think that with Drake specifically in these instances, people look for the reach. They look for the reasons to tie these things together. When really, in all actuality, probably doesn't mean that. From that XXX thing, no, I'm sorry. X was a factor, and he was gaining that momentum, but No, Drake was not offering to put money on anyone's head. No, that's just no. Where I refuse to believe that.
I hope the Dateline in you is true.
I know. I hope that is true too. I was gonna mention that there's also a third incident where remember recently Drake said something about she lied about getting ass shots, even though she is stallion, she don't get the line, but she's still laughing. Like he said something about that, and everybody thought that he was talking about Megan Thee Stallion, and he came out and or no, he didn't even come out and say anything, but his team was saying like, no, that's not true. He's not, but he was.
That one is way more blatant to me. Like that one's way more out in your face. It's in the open. The Stallion. Like there's too many intangibles to make it. Even if he said that wasn't about her at that instance, can't believe you then because you put too many things in the lyrics to point towards that person. The
timing of that one too. The timing of that, because that he released that when she was was it disposed or on the witness stand or it was in real time of she had just came and was speaking out against this, and I think
I'm with Mark.
It looks like a duck, quack like a duck. It's a duck.
He's definitely very smart, and one thing that I wanted to also bring up is he's probably the best artist ever to do rollouts.
Okay.
As far as albums, and that can be a conversation for another day. But just in talking about it, I started thinking about like just the way that Drake rolls out his projects, and especially for that one in particular, that was genius marketing.
Yeah,
genius marketing.
Yeah, he made it a big deal, and I understood why. Like once you understood like the rest of the lineup and all that, I was like, okay, yeah, makes sense why he put money there. So yeah, you're totally right. I think, like you said, we got to dive more into.
Eric did it again. Show topic.
Right, I was gonna say that's.
Eric did it again with the Drake is the second coming to Jay-Z. That's the real show. Like after Jay, there's Jay-Z and the next billion-dollar music artist. Will be Drake.
I mean, people have said this for years that Drake was going to be the next Hove, and I mean, in a new generational speaking way, without leave a lot of the street pass stuff behind with Jay. And I mean, yeah, the argument, the more that Drake stays around, the harder and harder it gets to go against that argument.
Yeah, that's very true. All right, so just to wrap up the Drake conversation, I have one more list for you guys. And this one is just poking fun at him. I hope nobody takes it too serious. I feel like it would only make sense for me to be the one presenting this. The next one is going to be Drake's most light-skinned lines. So, okay, so I have 4 different lines. I'm starting off with the very first one. I'm just saying you could do better. That is from Drake's Marvin's Room. I feel like that one is also
that whole song is light-skinned.
Oh man, for real. But let's not even dive all the way into it. Okay, so number 2 is my ex asked me where I'm moving. I said on to better things. That's from 10 Bands. It's actually not even that light-skinned of a song. I just felt like the line was a little bit light-skinned because a lot of light-skinned chicks have used it on IG. Next is going to be niggas make me nauseous. I had enough of broke boys. I can't talk to broke boys. I can't talk to broke boys. So I love that song as well, as you can see. But that is from Broke Boys. And then the very last one is why you gotta fight with me at Cheesecake. You know I love to go there. Say I'm acting light skinned. I can't take you nowhere. That's from Child's Play. What would you guys say is the most light-skinned line?
All of them, because he is light-skinned. Shit. The one... they all, cause see, and the crazy part is I have, like, in my friend circle, I've heard them from all different I've heard 4 dudes and say those lines to different shit, and they're all 4 different versions within the light skin spectrum, if you will. Like, so it applies to all. Like Drake is the leader of the that's what did they say? It was Busta, the leader of the new school. Drake is the leader of the light skins.
Oh yeah, That's without a doubt. Like
He
Drake
speaks
has-
for all light skins.
yeah.
He's their Obama.
Yeah, and I feel like that he's a good representative. I mean, he's killing it. So I mean, I don't think you could have picked a better person. Eric, what do you think? What is the most light-skinned line?
I mean, without like just making it like super obvious, it's got to be that last line, right? The Cheesecake Factory line. Come on, man.
That's what I was gonna say. That's
It's
not
like-
one of my favorites, but it's super light-skinned.
Dude, like even though he says light skin in the lyrics, so it automatically like just gives it that extra points.
Yeah.
That line is extremely light skinned, and I remember when that shit first came out, and that was like one of the like lines of contention that people were arguing over. To like be like, why would Drake say this? He's above that. Why would he even go there? And it's like, have you been listening to Drake for the past few years? This is bread and butter for him. This is right up his alley.
Exactly. You know? I think that it's smart that he pokes fun at himself. Like, I think Drake is not really somebody who's super funny, but I think that he knows how to laugh at himself and kind of like get in on the joke too. Like, people make memes about him all day, and he is not pressed about that shit. And I think it makes sense because it's just, I think, what do they say? All press is good press.
All press is good press.
Yeah, he's not upset about that. Marcus, what were you gonna say? I'm sorry.
So it's kind of twofold with the Drake line, because Drake is light skinned and he is the leader of the light skins. But I just thought of another show topic right then and there. Who has more light skinned lines, Drake or Future? And Future ain't light skinned.
Oh, I never thought about that.
That's a good one.
Yeah, like, you know.
Is there a line that comes to mind for you, or you're just saying in general?
Just in general.
Okay.
Well, because I mean, actually, the Future line that's light skinned to me, that is the most light skinned. I just fucked up chick in some Gucci flip flops.
Well, like, I feel like that's super toxic. I feel like he is the king of toxic.
It could be toxic and it can be light skinned. Both apply, left and the right.
Yeah, I was gonna say, let's not apply toxic and light skin going hand in hand. Let's not do that.
Toxic and light skin are hand in hand.
Yeah. We got to debate another day. I actually think that it was smart for Drake to use this line. I think the last one is the most light skinned, especially because it does sound like this is something that normally a chick would say during an argument, like, why you gotta fight with me at Cheesecake? You know I let it go there. But the fact that it's actually Drake saying it, I think it's smart that he's poking fun at himself, and it just, he leans in on it. So I think it's really smart. Those are my list for Drake's most captioned lines. Also, I think, did everybody get all of their picks? Is there anybody else who needs to?
So I got one more left because I'm gonna use the Sexy Red as one of mine, just because we went so long. So I'm gonna take the last one off. But I got to talk about Juvenile "Back That Ass Up" as being an iconic line that everyone in that, like your mama, your sister, your auntie, people rush to the dance. You will get trampled if she's over 35 and it gets played and you are in the way of the square box wherever the dance floor is. You will get run over for this, so that she can go out there and throw her hip out of a socket and have to replace something that she didn't even know she still had. Like it applies to all genres. There's not a genre where "Back That Ass" comes up and women aren't responding. And I'll say this, responding in the way of the video, no matter where the venue is.
Yes.
So you could be at the picnic, you could be at church, you could be at a repast, you could be where it does not matter. If you hear this and it is your jam and you feeling yourself, the venue, the place does not matter.
Oh, it doesn't.
Not at all.
And I think it also is important for other rappers and artists to realize that the call to action does work. It absolutely works in this instance every single time. Like you said, Mark, it doesn't matter where you at. You are answering his call.
You could be at your corporate function with your boss, Oh yes, no, thank you. Then, doom, doom, doom. Oh shit! Hey, you like you does not matter.
Wow.
Does
Yeah,
not. It's gonna come out. You
yes.
can't keep it
And
in.
all of a sudden, everybody want to drink. Everybody want to actually relax, have fun.
Yeah,
Like that is probably one of the best songs to like break the ice, for sure. I
yeah.
gotta say. All right, Eric, you got a
100%.
song?
And across all cultures, because
Yeah.
unfortunately, the the TikToks have taken it to a whole new level. It back that ass up is one of the also catalysts of another caption. Shout out to Black Twitter. We can't have nice things. Like I mean, it's horrible. We can't have nice things as a caption line, and then you see a Molly putting her
Oh,
putting her hands on her knees
got
with a
you.
with
So
a
you're saying
with a
black people
straight
can't
back,
things
and
right?
it's like,
Cover, seal them.
and it's like and it's like, girl,
You know
and
what's
you,
crazy is I
what do you?
actually have been seeing that a lot lately. Like women going to these twerk out classes to learn, and there's a lot of women who are in the front row who are like, "Move over, I want to learn. I'm next." So you're right. This song might be at the next barbecue, and I'm not talking about our barbecue. We're talking about like the All Lives Matter barbecue.
Do you remember? You remember the situation with the white girl came in like stomping in the heels when OT Genesis was crip walking, and then he
Oh
like,
yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I remember
Girl,
that.
this is not your time. This is not your
like
time to shine.
if that was a back that ass up moment.
It was.
In many ways, it was. It absolutely was. All right, Eric, do you have another pick for us?
Yeah, I'll get off one more. I'll get off one that everyone knows this. 1, 2, 3 into the foe. Snoop Doggy Dogg and Dr. Dre is at the door, ready to make an entrance and back. So back on no, because we about to rip shit up. Like easy, easy. Everyone knows that. Snoop and Dre, nothing but a G thing. Classic rap song. If you don't know this, you've been living under a rock for the past 30 some odd years. It's literally on every radio station, played in probably at every like classic hip hop like spin down, like even in just like you said, in settings where you wouldn't think hip hop would be the most popular, white people are jamming to some nothing but a G thing.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
like, so let's just face facts. Like,
Yeah.
that's one of those ones where the minute it comes on, you remember the time and place when you first heard this and was first riding around in the car, windows down, just blasting it out through the speakers. So yeah, nothing but a G thing. Snoop and Dre, big classic right there.
I'm gonna say that's 2 because I think California Love hit harder. I do. I think I think
Okay.
I think California Love hits harder than nothing but a G thing.
But I think like for lines, I feel as though like you remember California Love because of the hook, the beat, But if we're talking about lines, I think personally, I would go with Eric's pick for G thing, just because the 1, 2, 3 into the folks, Snoop Dogg, like everybody knows that line. I don't know if they know enough of California Love. I don't know.
So hold on, is that another lift every voice and sing moment? You just
Exactly.
Yeah, it might be low key. It might be.
So yeah, after the
because
4,
everyone knows California Love and they know the vibe of the song, they know the hook, but who remembers Pac's verses like that?
Nah, I don't. Unless you're like a diehard. I just know like the hook. I don't think I know enough.
I don't even remember Dre's verse on there like that for real.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you.
Okay, because y'all are closer to the West Coast than me. So, and I was a Pac fan. So I still.
Yeah, that's probably why you know more.
Yeah,
I think it depends.
Yeah,
running.
All
right. Okay, so
that's not a bad argument though.
Yeah, I don't think so at all. Not at all.
All right.
But okay, so I'm gonna do the very last one. This song was hard for me to pick just one fucking line. I want to see what the guys think. What they think is the most iconic line from this song, and I'm talking about Meek Mill's "Dreams and Nightmares." I had to pick this one because I feel like every time I've gone to the club, I'm thinking like maybe like 75 to 80% of the time, I feel like I'm gonna hear this song at least once when I'm in the club. So that's why I was like, you know what? This song has to be put in there. I feel like every nigga in the club all of a sudden acts like they're Meek Mill and they had the hardest life ever. And like they really be feeling these lines. For me personally, I think the most iconic line is the "Hold on, wait a minute, y'all thought I was finished when I bought that Aston Martin. Y'all thought it was rented." Like that's because the beat drops and it goes crazy. But I don't know. What do you guys think is the most iconic line from this song?
I think it's the cadence, because that's the only Meek Mill that I can't name you another Meek Mill song, bar, reference. That's it for me. Dreams and Night. Okay. That's like he's never gotten out of the Dreams and Nightmare box to me. And like it's the same cadence, it's the same flow, it's the same. Like, I mean, it's always the same. But even like our producer, I used to grind like this to shine like this. That's a TikTok moment, you know. That,
yeah, I was gonna say people love that too.
That's TikTok has resurrected, saved, preserved so many careers because they have taken snippets out and just replayed. I think Meek has made his career off Dreams and Nightmares, literally, because the cadence has stayed the same, no matter what the song is.
I didn't think about that. I mean, but I do think that like this.
He always yelling.
Big extreme.
When is Meek not yelling?
It worked in this song though. It totally worked because then niggas was in the club yelling this part too. It worked. Eric, what did you think?
This is tough. So I agree with Marcus. Ultimately, I think that this is the one that if he doesn't have this, his career doesn't go the way that it's going right now. That's just God honest truth in that sense. So. Yeah, I agree that is his most memorable line on the song, along with that cadence. And part of that reason is because of the build up to it. Because he doesn't start out yelling on the song. He starts off very normal tone. He's giving you a little bit of him. He's giving you a little bit of his story in the opening bars. And then beat kind of builds a little bit, no pun to Lil Wayne, but the beat builds a little bit, and then his voice gets a little more intense, and then by the time you actually get to that bass drop, that's when like everything just culminates at that point, because you had this crazy buildup, you had good rapping in the beginning, good memorable rapping in the beginning, and then it all kind of, again, it crescendos up to this one point, and then that moment when he comes out with those bars and when that bass hits, it's one of those standout things that you're just like, this is memorable. I remember watching him perform that at Summer Jam for Hot 97 when that was still like a really popular thing to watch. And if you remember those shows from back in the day, you would like catch crowd footage sometimes, and during people's sets, people would be hype or whatever, but like no one really like ever went up like that. The first time that I saw like the whole crowd, from the photographers to the media personalities to everyone in the stands who had been watching for hours and hours on end, there was not one but seated in those seats once that "hold up, wait a minute, y'all thought I was finished." Once that happened, there was nobody sitting. Period.
Yeah.
And you just remember iconic moments like that. You remember when like Drake brings them out on tour to perform that after they squashed their beef and everything like that. Like there are these singular moments that you'll remember with Meek and that song always being tied to each other. But again, this is where I with my agreement with Marcus, if it wasn't for that, probably doesn't go the way for his career that it's been going. But classic record. Can never get away from it.
I will say
people were trying to get rid of that song on Twitter. I was gonna say people were trying to get rid of that song on social media like a while ago, trying to say that it was getting too old and stuff. I was just like, There's
No,
no way. That is
it's-
gonna be a
it's not
staple.
old
That's
at
one of
all.
those that's gonna be a staple forever.
It's not
Yeah.
old at all. It's actually
Not
his
at all.
career grand slam. Like I believe he on that song, Meek Mill hit a grand slam. Now he hadn't hit a home run since. He's gotten on base, but that was his career grand slam.
Right. And I think that a lot of times the songs that are the most memorable or iconic are the ones that are overused. Like you realize that people get sick of them because they are that good, or because, you know, they get streamed so much and they get used a lot. So a lot of people get sick of them faster, you know? So even if someone might say that as a dig or whatever, I don't see that as a negative thing, for real. That just means that, like, your shit is heavy in rotation, honestly. And I feel like with this song, it also helps that he has so many moments in this song that people can relate to, whether, you know, you actually were somebody who's going through those exact situations, or just in general, you felt as though you had to go through a lot of shit in your life. You felt like you could actually relate to him. And I think it does so well because this is probably one of those projects, or this is the song that I felt as though he felt the most. And it shows because of how, like, he really, like you said, was yelling. He gets kind of out of character, or not out of character, but he kind of just like yells, and it kind of gets the listener to kind of like feel that emotion as well. So I think that's why it works a lot. So I couldn't leave that song out. But anyway, guys, this has been another episode of Bar Exam. We decided to dive into the bars that everybody knows. Let us know if you feel as though there are some songs that we forgot. Let us know in the comment section. I'm sure that there's some good ones that we forgot about. And remember to join us here every Monday for a new episode of Bar Exam. We'll see you guys on the next one. Bye. Whew, that was a long one.
So here's the thing.